All right, so this video for the spring final review is for the basic right triangle trig. The ones that are highlighted are the only ones that I'm going to be working with. Let me know if you have any other questions on any of the other ones. All right, so for this first one, I don't need to know what theta is. I'm just doing tangent of theta. And since we're doing basic right triangle trig, up top I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA, which tells me my trig functions and the ratios. So SOHCAHTOA. So tangent of theta gives me the opposite over adjacent. The opposite would be 14. The adjacent for this theta has 2, but this one's the hypotenuse, so it's going to be 7 root 5. This is the answer, but it's not the right answer because we do need to simplify it. 14 over 7 simplifies to just a 2 up top. We can't have a square root in the bottom, so we rationalize it. That would be 2 root 5. And root 5 times root 5 is just 5. All right, so for number 4, we need to do sine of theta, which means we need the opposite. So we need this one over 15. So it's going to be something over 15. To find the opposite, this leg, we need to do Pythagorean theorem. So 15 squared is going to equal, let's just call this x squared plus 9 squared. 15 squared is 225, so that would be 225 minus the 9 squared, which is 81, equals x squared. This ends up being 144 equals x squared, which means x equals 12. So that is 12. Opposite would be 12 over 15. This is right, but again, we need to simplify it. I see 3 goes into both of these. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 15 divided by 3 is 5. That's a 5. Let me make sure that's a clear 5. All right, the next one that we're going to work with is not a diagram. We just need to build our own triangle. So it doesn't matter how you build it. I'm just going to build a triangle. I'm going to stick theta here. In relation to this theta, this angle, its opposite is 3 and its adjacent is 4. And I know that because tangent of this theta is opposite over adjacent, 3 over 4. To figure out the hypotenuse, I do Pythagorean theorem, I'm going to end up getting 5. So sine of theta gives me my opposite over the hypotenuse. I get 3 over 5. So we just have to build our own triangle. For number 13, what are the instructions? Solve each triangle, which means I need to know all the legs and all the side angles, all the angles. Well, this one, to find the missing angle, is pretty easy. Let me just zoom in. It was pretty easy because all the angles add up to 180. So if I do 180 minus the 90 degrees minus the 63 degrees, I get that this angle is 27 degrees. And then to find everything else, I'm just going to use my trigonometry. So let's do, I don't know, tangent of this 27. If I were to do tangent of this 27 degrees, let's call this x. Let's call it a and b. Well, a, b, and c. That would be little a. This is little b, and this is little c, opposite each of their respective angles. So if I do tangent of this 27, I'm going to get my opposite, which is little a, over my adjacent, which is little b, which is 14. So to find little a, I just multiply both sides by 14. 14. A is equal to 14 tangent 27. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode. So 14 tangent, I started typing that in and my calculator was in radian mode. 14 tangent of 27 degrees, we get 7.13. 7.13. Doesn't have units, so I don't need units. All right, the only thing that I'm missing is little c. I could really just do anything. I'm going to do sine of 63. Let's do sine of 63 equals, I could do Pythagorean theorem, but I already cut off some decimals, so I'm not going to work with it. So I'm going to stick with trig. Sine of 63 gives me my opposite, which is little b, which I know is 14, over my hypotenuse, which is little c, don't know. I'm going to multiply both sides by c. That cancels out. And I'm going to end up dividing both sides by sine of 63. Divide by sine of 63. So I get c, because these cancel out, is equal to 14 over sine of 63. 14 divided by sine of 63. And I get 15.71. C is equal to 15.71. Cool. The last one that I want to do, 15.71. I'm just checking to make sure that we got the right answer. 15.7, 7.1, 27 degrees. Yeah, we got 13 right. All right, 16. We're going to do the same thing. Find that missing angle first. Let me just reduce the thickness of this pen. 180 minus the 90 minus the 35.3, and we get 54.7. 54.7. So big A is 54.7. We need to find little a. We already know what little b is. We also need to find little c. It's the same process. Let's do tangent of 54.7 equals little a over little b. So that would be 3 tangent of 54.7 equals a. 3 tangent 54.7, which equals 4.24. 4.24. And then I need little c. I'm just going to do sine of b. Sine of 35.3 equals my opposite over my hypotenuse. So little c is going to equal 3 over sine of 35.3. 3 divided by sine of 35.3. I get 5.19. C is equal to 5.19. Cool. Let me know if you have any questions.